Hi guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today, I'll be building my first custom PC. So I'm really excited for this video. I've been preparing this for a long time and it's finally here. So I'm going to go through each of the parts that I'll be using to build this PC. And then I'll show you exactly step by step how I actually build this PC. Let's get started. So the processor, AMD Ryzen 5600, 6-core 12-thread processor. For motherboard, I'm using Gigabyte B550M with Wi-Fi, Kingston Fury RAM, 16GB, 2 pieces, so a total of 32 GB, and M.2 NVMe SSD, 512 GB. For graphics card, I'm using Nvidia GTX 1660 Super, PF550 power supply, and Slevcase AirTouch Micro ATX case for my build. And last but not least, 3 chassis fan for my PC airflow management. And that's all for the parts introduction. I'll start with building the PC and stay until the very end of this video where I reveal the total cost of this exact build. Enjoy. The first thing first, I'll unbox this power supply and connect to the power. So this is the power supply. And I'll connect the power to the power supply. Connect it. And switch it on. So I'll put this power supply at the side of this table and I'll constantly touch it to remove any static while I'm building the PC. So now it's the motherboard. I'm just going to take it out and then remove any manuals inside. And this is the Wi-Fi adapter or Wi-Fi antenna, the I/O shield, and some of the cables. But this is SATA cable. So let's see. Alright, there we go. This is the motherboard. And I'll just place it on top of the box that comes with it. Like so. I know this is the back of the PC and this is the front of the PC. And I'll be doing everything this way. So now I'll be unboxing the processor and start installing the processor. This is the processor. Some manuals, which we can put it aside for now. And this is the CPU cooler. So this is the CPU. So if you turn it around, there's an arrow at the back. So you just match the arrow down to an arrow here in the motherboard. So I'll just release this holder for now. And then gently place the CPU on top of the CPU slot. It should fit just right into it without needing any pressure. And then just to confirm it's in the right place, just wiggle it around, make sure it's not moving. And it's on. Now, press down this holder, lock it in place. And the CPU is installed. Perfect. So next is to install the CPU fan. So let's unbox it. So the CPU fan actually comes with the thermal paste already. So we just need to place it on top of the CPU. So before that, we need to remove this plastic holder on top of the motherboard before we install the CPU fan. Now taking out the CPU fan with the thermal paste applied already. And the CPU fan socket lies over here. So you can just cable manage accordingly. You can do it like this. Yep, and it's on. And what I need to do now is just to screw the screw down. Using a longer screwdriver will help as well. now it's all tight and it's ready. So what's next? We'll be installing the RAM. Let's unbox it together. So according to manual, I have 2 pieces of RAM. I'll be installing on the 2nd and the 4th slot to maximize the output. So it's important for me to align the groove here with the groove over here. So just gently slot it in, push it down, and the clip will hold the RAM tightly. So onto the 2nd piece. Like so. Okay, now the RAM is in. Now onto the SSD, PCIe SSD, 512 Gigabyte. Let's open it, get it out, and the SSD PCIe slot is over here. So for the PCIe slot, you have to remove the holder and then slot the PCIe SSD in like this, then push it down, and then insert back the holder to hold the SSD in place like this, and you'll hear a click sound. That's when you know you're installed successfully. And this is the CPU fan power socket, so you just plug it into this particular CPU fan power socket in the motherboard, just like this, and should hold it in place easily. You can carry on manage accordingly. Alright, that's all for now. So now we'll be putting this motherboard into the PC case and start connecting some cables, and also to connect the GPU later on. So this is the case. Unbox it. It's a really pretty, elegant and minimalist case, which I like it a lot. That's why I bought it. I don't like cases that has a lot of RGB. I just want something that's simple. That's why I chose this case. There's actually a company called Slevcase, and they do very nice design case. These are the buttons. And let's open the case and have a look what's inside. So this is the side panel. And yes, this case comes with an pre-installed power supply, but unfortunately I won't be using this power supply. I bought a new one. The reason because the power cable here doesn't support a second 8-pin slot for my GPU. So initially I did not know, that's why I bought this case, but after that I only realized this power supply couldn't support. So I'll be swapping it up with my power supply that I bought. Okay, so first thing first is to remove the power supply. Right, it's out now. So yeah, as you can see, the power cable outlets now, but still a pretty good basic power supply. And yeah, unfortunately, just have to let it go. Alright, before installing the motherboard, I figured I wanted to install the chassis fan first. But I noticed the design of this case, I'm not able to get to the front panel and screw this tiny little screw from the front. So I have to come up with an alternative solution. So the idea is using zip tie to actually go through the hole and come through this hole, and essentially tying this chassis fan down using a zip tie instead of a screw. That's the best I can think of. Let's see how everything works. Just cut the zip tie, and I think this works really well, to be honest. Okay, now on to the next fan. Right, looks really well, looks really good. So now just cutting out the tail end of it, and we are golden. And of course, not to forget the exhaust fan. So again, I'll be sucking the air from the chassis outside. So meaning this will be the in tank and this will be the out tank. So I'll be installing the fan this way. So this will be a lot easier because the screws are all exposed and I don't need to play around with any zip tie. So yeah. Okay, so now finally it's time to install the motherboard back in. So this is the I/O chute. I'm just going to install it. Like this. Push it in gently and it should fit just right into it. Now it's time to put our motherboard back in. So notice there's this golden screw stand, I guess, installed already. So I just to make sure it maps correctly to my motherboard. I just noticed because of the exhaust fans, it's in the way I couldn't really install the motherboard, so I'll just remove it and install it back in once I got the motherboard in. Well, mistakes happens. It's okay, let's just proceed. Now we have our motherboard back in. Well, turns out I also installed the I/O chute in the opposite way. So this is the correct way. Sorry guys. It's okay, just continue with the build. Well, it's my first build after all, so I'm bound to make mistake, but yeah, I'm happy it's not something that's very serious. Let's bring our motherboard back in and try to align to the screws. Okay, the shoes are aligned and the screws are aligned. You can see from here, here, and potentially here, and some other places in here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. Good. All right, let's begin. I think I got all the screws in. Now it's just a matter of tightening them in. Let's start. Okay, now the motherboard is fully in, and we can start connecting some of the pins from the chassis to the motherboard. Guys, I got bad news. I just realized this case is actually not really intended to install any fan, because once I got the motherboard in, you notice the power port for the motherboard is actually being blocked by this chassis fan. Let me show you. This is the motherboard power connector here, and it's been blocked by this chassis fan that I just installed earlier. So I think in order to continue this build, I have to remove this chassis fan, and I think it's something to consider to upgrade the case to fit the fan in the future. But for now, I'm just going to install the exhaust fan, and there'll be no front intact fan. It's unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world, and things can still be managed. Right. Alright, and it's removed, and maybe we'll come back with a second episode where I actually upgrade this chassis in the near future. But for now, I'm just going to proceed without any chassis fan. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So now that's all of the way, let's just continue with installing the wire from the chassis. So let's break it down one by one. So let's start with the USB 3 port, and it's over here, and align the pins to the hole. This, and it's in. And what's next is HD audio, as well as the USB 1. So HD audio, it's over here. Okay, it's in. And the USB 1, it's over here. And it's in. Here comes the power LED port switch, plus and minus. Install with the word facing down. So it's installed over here. Be patient with this one because it is really small. It should work just like this. Alright, and it's in. HDD LVD. Alright, it's in now. Take some time. Remember to be very patient about it because you don't want to break anything. It's too fragile. Alright, the last two is the power switch and the reset switch. So the power switch is on top and the reset switch is at the bottom. So we can do it something like this. Alright, the reset switch is in. Now goes the power switch. Right, and it's in. And all the cables from the chassis are in. Now it's just a matter of doing some cable management, which I'll do it later. Okay, what's next is to actually install the power supply into the case now. Now just to match the hole and screw down. Right, the power supply is now installed. Now it's time to connect the power to the components. So this is the CPU power port. So now just align it over here. And then this is the PCIe. So this will go to graphic cards. And this goes into the motherboard. This is SATA cable, which we'll not be using now. It's a SATA cable as well. And this is motherboard, which we are going to route it from the back. So I'm routing the motherboard port from the back to the front, so it's better managed in terms of the cable. I'll just turn it around, and then you should see it coming up from here, and you should be able to click it in right here. Then you should hear a click sound. That's when you know it's properly installed. So that looks good to me. And you can hide some cables behind it for better cable management. And now it's time to install the graphic cards. First, I'll just need to unscrew the PCIe slot over here. It's off. And I can remove this. So I'm removing this PCIe holder. And I can start installing the graphic card. Then you should hear a click sound when it's installed successfully. And the holder should be in, like this. Now once the graphic card are installed, this is to screw down the screw here to tighten the PCIe slot. And then put this back on just to secure it even more. And the graphic card are in. Now just a couple cable management, and we are able to now plug in our power source for the graphic card like this. Then we'll be installing the fan, which we initially removed. Okay, so the exhaust fan is now in, and we just need to connect the exhaust fan to its power. which is here. Right. It's in. And do some final cable management, and we should be able to switch on this baby. Okay, now just going back the case in. Let's see how everything looks like from the front. And so far everything looks okay. Now get what's next is to actually connect this to a power and switch it on. Let's do this. Okay, so I've plugged in the power cable, switch it on, turn it on here, and let's try give it a run. Oops. Oh shoot, this is not looking well. The PC is not starting. Just to make sure again, the power is absolutely on. It's on, and it's not turning on. So I suspect that the power switch cable here are disconnected when I install this graphic card. This is really huge and pulling a cable here and there. So what I'm going to do now is switch off the power and remove the graphic card and try to reattach this power switch cable here and try it again. Shit happens, but it's okay. It's not diode. Let's try it again. Alright, it's moving. So the PC is booting now. So what ended up happening was the power cable to the motherboard was loose, so I just tightened it down and now it's working. So yep, I'll just switch off the PC and then I'll install the graphic card back in. Now let's try switching on this baby. Right, CPU fan is spinning, the PC fan is spinning, the graphic card is spinning. So far everything looking good. Let's connect this to a monitor and see everything from the BIOS. Alright, so I'm officially in the BIOS. As you can see, this is my motherboard, the CPU that I installed, and the RAM that I installed, 32GB. I've done this build. Obviously, the journey is not smooth. There's a lot of issues that I've faced while building this PC. But stay tuned for the part 2 where I actually buy a new case and actually replace this case and install the fans correctly and install the airflow management correctly. And this is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hi guys, it's me again. I know I promised you all to reveal exactly how much I spent on building this PC. So here I have putting out an Excel in front of me, and on the left hand side we see all the exact parts that I used to build this PC and where I bought this part and the price I paid for it. Then at the end of this calculation, I'll have a subtotal review for you all. For the first part, Ryzen 5 5600 CPU, I bought it new from Shopee. So for my international viewer update, Shopee is one of the largest e-commerce platform we have in Malaysia. That's where I got majority of my parts here, and I got it new. For the CPU, I paid 490 ringgit Malaysia. For motherboard, I paid 470 ringgit. For RAM, 2 pieces in total, I paid 255 ringgit. And for the SSD, I paid 114 ringgit. For the case, I paid 109 ringgit. PSU cost me 139 ringgit. And for the graphic cards, I actually bought it used from a platform called Carousell. It's essentially a used market in Malaysia. And I got a very, very good deal to get this fantastic GTX 1660 Super GPU, which I think it's a steal. And then last but not least, 3 pieces of PC fan cost me 36 ringgit. So that comes in a total of 2,064 ringgit, which sums up the entire cost of this PC build, which I think it's really worth it if you ask me. I think spending this 2,000 ringgit to build this amazing PC with such amazing spec, I think it's definitely a steal. It's always so much worth it building your own PC, because paying the same amount of money buying a pre-built PC outside, you will never get such spec. Not to mention, building this PC, you actually learn the process of building PC and the knowledge and experience gained from building PC process is absolutely priceless. I would highly recommend everyone to give PC building a try. To me, I think it's a really fun and worth it experience, which I would highly recommend to anyone. So that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching. And right now I'll show some montage of my PC setup. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. And stay tuned for part 2 if I plan to replace the PC case. So until then, see you guys in the next video. Cheers.